We don't do that here.
But the cream rises to the top.
All right, here we go. Fucking energy, because the ultimate fucking casuals have returned. Nathan, Isaac, the boys are back. How are we doing on this fine Sunday?
We're doing all right, man. We got a little bit of snow where I'm at yesterday here, but we're doing all right.
We're getting the Texas equivalent of a snowstorm, which is like an average temperature of 60 degrees. So we're freezing down here too.
Everyone's out there in long coats.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had to bundle up, put some layers on.
Yeah, Central Arizona winter is in full effect. It got to 49 last night.
Oof.
Man.
Be careful, man. Get frostbite.
Let's get into the fucking stuff. Just a boxing thing really quick. On November 16th was I have quote unquote here Latino night in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. Fucking yeah. There were plenty of Latino fighters, but I don't know. Whatever. Just to go through some of the fun ones. I know that I say this every single time, and I know that I'm probably a bit biased, but this boxing conversation is just really good. If you want to hear the whole thing, you're going to have to check it out on Patreon. We look us up over there, LVX Media Net, and you can get the uncut, uncensored, unfiltered version of this entire podcast. Up to the main event, Zurdo Ramirez, the WBA champion, unifies by taking the WBO belt off of Chris Billum Smith. Pillar to post. What the hell was wrong with CBS?
I don't know if he expected Zurdo to come out like that, man. Like Ramirez really looked different.
A lot of pressure. The pressure is reminiscent of when he was a weight bully at 168, but yeah, this is like vintage because he hasn't been doing that lately.
It was like a little bit better footwork, and then man, I don't know. I mean, Ramirez was he was getting some good like body work in throughout the entire fight.
Nasty.
This was like a proper like scrap here.
Yeah,
like this is like one of those gruesome fights.
Ass beating, one of our categories of the year.
And maybe
ass beating or masterclass.
William Smith has like a serious chin. Like, there were multiple times throughout this fight where I was like, "Oh, this is over. I mean, just the accumulation of stuff. But then, Williams would come out the next round. He'd be right back at it. It was a crazy fight.
There you go. That was the Latino night. So I had found this article in the news. It was regarding UFC 309, which we'll be talking about in a moment. But the headline reads thus: John Jones hit with UFC suspension after epic UFC 309 bout with proud Stipe Miocic. Story by John O'Sullivan and James Evan. I mention their names because I would like for them, if knowing that they're going to hear this, you fucking clowns. The most ridiculous headline: he was suspended by the New York State Athletic Commission, just like they do for every combat sports fucking participant. If you are involved in a fight for like one round, you are suspended by the State Athletic Commission.
So this is like max clickbait.
Yeah, fuck, they got me.
That's crazy, yeah. That is crazy.
But yeah, other news. So Yuri Proska and Jamal Hill are set up for 311, was it?
Believe so. Yeah, it's the one. It's in January in LA.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah. So I don't know if I don't think it'll be the main event because it's a pay-per-view. It's a pay-per-view event, so there'll probably be like a belt.
Yeah, title
as a headliner.
Yeah.
But
this is the one. Is this the one that's in Australia? Yes. This could also be like the co-main for a Volk return night, even if there's no title on the line.
This one's in Inglewood.
Yeah, that's such a solid fight. That's a great fight.
Yeah, it's a great matchup.
It makes sense. Like, they want to do, or Hill at least wants a rematch with Pereira, but you can't just throw him right back in there. He's got to get a win, and I'd prefer to see him fighting someone else who's at the upper ranks than fighting, the 10th ranked contender or something like that.
Yeah. And like Yuri needs to get back too. I mean, he just got like brutally knocked out by Alex. So I think that's a very good matchup for both fighters. And it's pretty important at light heavyweight.
Do you think Jamal will just strike with him the whole time, or do you think he's gonna shoot double legs all night?
And I think because Jamal has like power too, so I think it'll be like a mix of both. But I don't know, man. I mean, the way Yuri just has like no head movement, I feel like Jamal will mainly stay on the feet. But I'm gonna lean Yuri in this fight. Like I could see Jamal winning even by KO as well. Like I don't know. Yuri's style is just so like unorthodox. It's so weird. It's hard to predict.
I haven't seen enough of Jamal Hill to really have an opinion about him. I think I saw him get stopped by AP, and before that he was injured. So
yeah, I mean his fight with Glover was like he did like pretty well. It was pretty much a sweep. He's good, but I don't know. He's lost like a lot of his fan base over like some very, very stupid stuff just in recent history. But this is gonna be, people are gonna tune into this fight. This is a crazy fight to watch.
Yeah, 2 versus 3. It's a good one to make.
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get into the recaps, what we were gonna primarily talk about, which was 309. We're not gonna talk about UFC Macau this time. So top line feelings.
I thought it was a good set of fights. As far as a fight night card, it's one of the better ones I've seen in a while. Unless you live in China. If you live in China, sorry, most of your people do not do well.
Yeah, one very particular case.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just echo what Nathan said. Like as far as fight night goes, this is one of the better fight nights by, I would say, like a decent bit. Yeah, a mix of a lot of things, some nice KOs. If you went there as a fan to watch in person, like you're leaving like pretty satisfied, unless you're like super like diehard Chinese nationalist. You saw your fighters get murdered.
Yeah, a lot of road to UFC stuff settled. I wanted to check on Shao Kahn, the chick that got taken out on a stretcher.
That was a crazy storyline.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen someone get stretchered. I don't know if I've ever seen that happen live. Like, I know it's happened in older UFC events, but like I've never seen that happen. And like since I started watching the sport.
Yeah, I mean the fact that they put her like in like the cervical brace, like that seemed pretty concerning. I mean,
they were saying it was precautionary, right? But yeah, it looks fucking scary.
Weird though, right?
Yeah, it did.
Her neck did look weird when she was laying down. I don't know. They said like they were like getting scans and everything, but I haven't heard anything else.
CT scan, according to the medical staff, looked okay. As far as what I'm reading, I don't know how legit Bloody Elbow is.
Oh, they're at least pretty solid reporting, so okay. I would believe that.
All right, cool. So seems like she's all right. Good. That's good to hear. All right, let's move into UFC 309 at the Garden. A lot of good stuff. Very fun. Let's start with the early prelims. Veronica Hardy drops the decision versus Eduarda Moura. Oban Elliott KO3 over Basil Hafez.
It's a wild KO.
Yeah.
That was actually like a pretty close fight, but man, Hafez got laid out bad in the third round.
Ramiz Brahimaj, TKO in the first over Mickey Gall. Both of those are welterweights. I always mispronounce his name. Is it Marcin? Marcin?
I hear it's Marcin Tybura.
Marcin Tybura gets the doctor stoppage over Jonata Diniz. What happened to him? I'm completely blanking.
I think it was the eye.
Was it a poke?
Diniz. No, I think it was just like from damage.
Oh,
like
shit.
This is a bit like from what I remember that like Tybura like dominated.
Yeah, he did.
He took down Diniz. I think I don't remember which eye it was, but I think it was an eye that was like completely like ruined. And the doctor said, you just can't go on anymore. But yeah, it was a dominant performance by Tybura.
David Onama, very late pick for his opponent, Roberto Romero, UD. Sorry, buddy. Jim Miller submits Damon Jackson in the first. It's fucking Miller time.
And he's still going. He's not
retiring.
Retire.
Nope.
How many? He said something like he'll retire once he gets to like a certain amount of fights. He wants to set the record for like the most UFC fights or something like that. But I mean, bro,
well, I think he already has that record. But I wonder if he's trying to get to like 40 wins or something like that.
It might have been that. Yeah, it might have been the 40 wins. Like this guy's longevity is like, I mean,
that's pretty wild.
It's sort of crazy. Yeah.
Marcus McGee, UD over Jonathan Martinez. Those were bantams. That's the end of the
Martinez could have won that fight.
He could have?
Martinez really could have won that fight. McGee's leg in the third round was gone. I mean, he was having trouble like standing up, barely able to throw punches. Martinez just sort of like got off the gas, and McGee had the first 2 rounds, and yeah, I mean, just strolled to a pretty easy victory. Unfortunate, but yeah, McGee's been a little bit on a tear though. And that's what they were saying, or what the commentary team was saying. Someone to keep an eye out.
Mauricio Ruffi, UD over James Lontop.
This guy, Mauricio Ruffi, or Ruffi, I guess, because he's Brazilian. This guy is someone to keep an eye out. This is like another one of the fighting nerds. He is crazy. I don't know if I sent you the clip where he like no look throws a hook after he like rolls under one of Jan Top's. I think he rolled under one of Jan Top's hooks. Man, this dude has some crazy IQ and vision. Incredibly entertaining fighter to watch. And like, just remember that name. Remember the name Mauricio Ruffi. It'll be a very, I don't know, I think it could have potential to be very, high up in rankings at least.
Vivian Arajo, 9th at flyweight. UD over Corinne Silva, 11th. Oh, man. Big question mark on this next one. Bo Nickel. Unanimous decision over Paul Craig. Weren't the cards like 3-0?
Yeah.
All 3?
Unanimously 3-0.
That is questionable, to say the least.
Yeah. The fans are really not rocking with him in that fight.
No.
At all.
And remember when we previewed this fight, I had said this was a measuring stick moment for Bo Nickel because Kyle Borrello destroyed Paul Craig. As much as I want Bo Nickel to succeed, he's not there yet. He's still good. He's got potential, but like he is still very raw in just the way he strikes. Like he expects every punch he throws to like knock his opponent out. So he throws it, and then he's like, "Wait, that didn't knock you out," and he just kind of sits there, and there's no follow up. And so it's like, okay, here's one more shot, and then one more shot, and so pretty mediocre performance, even if he did win.
Oh, just haymaker after haymaker. Lame.
And I mean, I feel like even if he got the win, I feel like his stock dropped at least a little bit. Like, I mean, especially with the fan base, it definitely took a hit. Yeah, I don't even know what the UFC does with him next, because like, I mean, you can't like, you sort of want to get him into the rankings now, but who do you even match him up with?
DC advises not rushing Bo Nickel. That's I don't know. That's what he says.
I mean, this is someone who like a year ago was talking about fighting Izzy.
Yeah.
Getting matched up immediately. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know what they do. I mean, this is sort of a weird predicament.
You look at the rankings and you look at number 15, Michel Pereira. Like, he could probably beat Pereira just because he gasses out so quick. But you go one rank up to number 14, and it's Shara Bullet Magomedov. Like,
that's already precarious.
He'd get mauled. Yeah, like, no, I would just say it. Bo Nickel would get mauled by Shara at this point. He's he's not KO'd,
honestly.
Yeah.
Maybe been KO'd. Even and then you go to number 13, Anthony Hernandez. Fluffy might even beat Bo Nickel. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like the only one where it could get interesting, maybe Jack Hermanson, just because he's like a little bit older. But yeah, you got to go slow with Bo Nickel, I feel like. Honestly,
Joe
his
Piper.
next fight. I mean,
no, you don't want to give him Piper. No.
No?
Piper may like lay him out.
Oh, shit.
Piper's got that power.
Bo Nickel's issue, I think, he's so open to counter punches right now. Like, just the way he strikes, and he's not really blending it well with his wrestling. Piper would absolutely I mean, counter overhand right, that's game over. So he needs to unfortunately fight some more unranked guys and figure out exactly what his style is going to be.
I think they need to slow the train down like a little bit, especially like with card position. Like, I mean, they put him like right before Oliveira and Chandler. Maybe move him. I mean, keep him on. It's okay if they want to keep him on like the main card and stuff, but they need to slow their roll with like Bo Nickel hype. I mean, the fans are really not rocking with him at the moment. They might even switch.
Yeah, they were booing him like the entire time he was having his little interview.
Yeah, they were saying some not nice things to Bo Nickel.
Where does he live?
Bo Nickel?
Yeah.
Let me check.
Apparently in the Rocky Mountains somewhere, because that's where he was when they tried to give him the Brian Ortega. No, it wasn't. Am I getting that confused? Wasn't there some fighter they called for like a last minute replacement, and that fighter was up in the Rocky Mountains or something like that, and they couldn't get a hold of him?
That sounds like some Yeri type shit, but I don't remember. I know he went to college, at Penn State. It was a good wrestling school. But I don't know where he lives right now.
Paul Craig calls himself the Bear Jew.
What?
He calls himself the Bear Jew, like from
no.
What is it? The Bastards movie?
Inglorious
Right,
Bastards.
Inglorious Bastards. That's right.
Bear Jew.
He calls himself Bear Jew.
Crazy,
what the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah. I knew this Bo Nickel fight with Paul Craig could go wrong though.
Yeah,
I know it had potential. It's a maybe not like fraud check, but like
this was a test,
Bo Nickel's favor.
and he fucking failed, or he got a D, rather, barely passed.
Yeah. After the fight as well, it was sort of interesting because like Bo Nickel was saying like, this is only like my sixth fight or one of my first few fights, and it's like that's okay and everything, but at the same time you can't be talking about being able to beat the top guys. Like both things can't be true at the same time. You can't be like green and at the same time be able to take on Izzy or AP. Like it's either one or the other. It's okay to be confident and everything, but
be realistic as well.
Yeah, be realistic.
What about Kevin Holland?
We're gonna make Kevin Holland come back up to middleweight.
Yes, to give Bo Nickel more of an advantage, and also I feel like you could kind of tell Kevin Holland like, hey man, take it easy on him, make him look good.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Kevin Holland's gonna get taken down within the first 10 seconds.
Another rib injury.
It's how it's gonna go. It's how it's gonna go. Yeah.
The Iron Turtle. That would be fun.
Turtle getting fed to Bo Nickel. That'll be rough for the fan base. Honestly, I think the fan base might like Iron Turtle more than Bo Nickel at the moment.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's enough of that one. Charles Oliveira gets the decision over Michael Chandler, 2nd and 7th at lightweight. Ooh. So, interesting. I think Michael Chandler said nothing about or to Donald Trump, who was in attendance. I was very much expecting him to, but maybe because he lost, he chose not to.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to go up when you just got your ass beat and go like shake hands with people in the crowd, let alone the old Presidente.
Yeah.
If he would have won though, he would have been.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. He would have been meat riding. I've seen some of the stuff he posts on Twitter. It's hilarious.
He'd probably do the whole like in like jiu-jitsu when they bow to sensei. He would have done that in front of Trump.
Oh my god. That would have been hilarious.
Speaking of bowing to Trump, Charles Oliveira snubbed him very pointedly.
Do you think he knows him?
I'm sure he knows who he is. Like, it's a very, very recognizable face. You can't miss it. Plus, a whole lot of other people that are sitting like in his immediate vicinity are also very high-profile people.
Yeah, I gotta say it was funny. Like Oliver just like did not care because like he went over to talk to some people. I think it was just like Hunter Campbell and Dana White that he went up to, and then he went over to his team and everything.
Yeah,
like he was just really about, I guess, more so the company rather than the celebrities in attendance.
Yeah, he was in the moment.
He's got to tell the bosses he's ready for his title fight. That's the only thing that matters to him at that moment.
I want Islam next.
And he deserves it after that performance.
Yeah.
That was like one of the best Oliveira performances we've ever seen.
That was just pure dominance. We were talking about it before. It was like the ring rust. Was that not really apparent? Like, it looked like Chandler was not, I don't know, very limber.
Well, not just, I mean, definitely on the feet, but I think the thing that surprised me the most was that Oliveira was able to outmuscle him, and that's something that like you think would be the least likely thing to be affected by rust is your athleticism, because at least your technique is probably waned, but at least you still have that explosive power.
Yeah,
if
you're
you've been
still
training.
beefy, right?
Yeah, and he just looked like he was getting ragdolled on the ground.
Yeah, it was pretty sad thing to see. Like, this is the first time I've seen Michael Chandler fight, and I am very sorely disappointed. I expected better.
Yeah, I don't even know what's next for him at the moment, but this is a domination, like almost swept. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if you guys saw it, but there was some like a little bit of cheating by Chandler.
Oh, was he grabbing the cage
in the 5th round? Well, I mean, there was a few instances like fingers in the glove.
Yeah, that I did see.
How about that whole sequence in the 5th round when he battered the back of his head and wasn't penalized?
Pete Peterson is blind as hell, man. There was like at least 10 shots to the back of the head, and like it wasn't even like close to the ear. It was just straight up the back, like the middle back of the head. And I mean, Keith Peterson was right there just staring at it.
Yeah,
did nothing. He did nothing at all.
Didn't even say anything. Like, you could have at least.
Yeah, no warning. No like watch the back of the head. No back of the head. It was just continuous shots to the back of the head.
Imagine if Oliveira had gone out and Chandler had won the fight in that fashion. Imagine the conversation we'd be having right now.
Oh, I mean, I feel like that's something where I feel like the commission. I know they normally don't step in, but this was just so blatant, and it wasn't even close. It would at least have to be turned over to like a disqualification.
It would have,
no
they'd overturn it to a DQ for sure.
Like, I mean, that's just not. I mean,
that
it's on camera. Everyone saw it.
You can't miss it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was bad.
He was fucking aiming for it. It's not a matter of like Charles turned his head or something.
It was some heavy shots too, man. It was. I was like really worried. Like whenever he got to the ground, I was like, oh, he's okay. You know, he'll be able to just scramble out of this. But whenever those shots to the back of the head started coming, I was like, man, this could be it. And you know, even if it's not it, like how much damage this can be doing to Charles. I was pretty worried, but he survived, man. No one can say Charles is not a dog.
Brain bleed. Pritchard Cologne over on the boxing side. And Pritchard got hit with much less. And it got really bad. Like, obviously lost his motor functions, but man, Michael Chandler, he's probably gonna sit out another year and a half waiting for Conor McGregor to come down off his bender.
I don't know if I don't know if that's even happening.
I think
we were already talking about it before, but I don't think anymore. And I don't know. He also called out Max. Was it Max Holloway he called out Chandler? Who called him out?
Oh, for the BMF.
Or was it Oliveira?
Oliveira called out Holloway for the BMF title.
Yeah, man, Oliveira Holloway rematch. That would be.
Oh, they fought
That
already?
would be crazy. Yeah, years ago.
Okay.
Wasn't there a medical stoppage or something like that? If someone got injured in the fight and it was called early.
Yikes.
Max Holloway won by KO TKO. This might have been like one of the things like early on in Charles's career, like where you know how they used to say like Charles had no dog in him. Like as soon as he tested him, he would quit. This might have been one of those. Damn, 2015. Yeah, this was time ago.
2015. Holy shit.
Yeah.
So,
they're saying EKO by esophagus injury.
So I'm reading some details about it. That was the initially what they said, but it was some kind of neck injury that was aggravated in the fight, and basically Charles was like paralyzed for a few days after the fight.
Yo.
Jesus.
And he had to go into rehab over it.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, I can tell you this right now. If they made Holloway versus Oliveira 2, not a single fan is complaining about that. Not a single fan.
I would be griping a little bit that he's not fighting Islam, but I mostly agree with you. I would not be upset with that fight happening.
Because one thing that definitely helps like is that he directly called out Max, so like we know he's okay with it. Because like
Right.
Armin and Islam's gonna happen, and then obviously like Ramadan is gonna take some time. Like we're not gonna see Islam until like the middle of the year, like maybe like June.
True. Yeah, that is true.
Or something like that. Maybe that's why
Ramadan's
he doesn't
usually
wanna
around
wait.
April, overlapping between April and May.
Yeah, and luckily Islam's gonna get the fight like in January, so he's gonna stay active like right before Ramadan, and they can fight right after. Yeah, I don't know what's next for Michael Chandler though, but I mean he's normally in like in exciting fights. Hopefully he does a little bit better. But man, he's starting to get old.
I was about to say this was exciting, but not for Michael and Mrs. Chandler. It's fucking rough.
Yeah.
Anything more for? I was calling him during the fight. I was calling him Mikey Chan. It was making some
Chan.
people uncomfortable. That's fun. Chucky O and Mikey Chan. All right.
Man.
Main event. John Jones, disputed heavyweight champion, TKO 3 over Stipe Miocic. His ranking doesn't fucking matter. There's never the point. Okay, so I was listening back to our previous episodes to see what we were thinking. I thought Jones was gonna carry Stipe to the end, but apparently not. Apparently Jones wanted to have like target practice. Wow, that was fucking rough. Cool. Like Stipe was still rugged, tough. He tried to tough it out the best he could. But yeah, I don't know. 42 years old. 4 years out of the ring or cage?
Yeah, 4 years.
4 years.
So all things considered, Stipe did pretty well. But yeah, the night belonged to all of the people that were slurping on Jones's nuts throughout the entire fucking broadcast. Sorry.
Yeah, that was pretty aggravating to listen to.
It was fucking
delayed
annoying.
session.
So fucking annoying.
I think you do have to give Jones some credit. Just he fought well. I thought that the two moments in particular that stuck out were the trip he had on Stipe. I mean, like, Stipe's big. He weighed over 240 in this fight, and just being able to trip him out like that, even an older guy, right? Like, we all understand that, but that is still impressive. Really, really solid grappling against a D1 wrestler, and then just the spinning back kick at the end.
Ribs.
That was vintage, ultra creative Jones. You have to give him some flowers there.
Oh, for sure.
And Stipe, yeah, he looked old, but he didn't look. This guy was not decrepit. You know, he was still moving.
It wasn't
around.
Mike Tyson.
Yeah, it wasn't Tyson
Right.
Paul.
Yeah.
Stipe's only issue was that he was moving at like 75% speed of what we're used to seeing, and that's like the difference in actually catching your opponent with a punch and not. So tough to watch if you're a Stipe fan. You don't like to see just the old guys get beaten on like that. Here's your legendary career you had, and here's your reward. You get to get, you get to get folded in front of a live audience.
So you said you don't like to see the old guys getting beaten on. My immediate thought was better to see them get beaten on than beaten off.
Oh my god.
Truer words never spoken.
Oh,
Stipe getting
man.
beaten up for the next U.S. cabinet.
Well, they couldn't have that because there was plenty of beating off happening in the commentary booth.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
How much of that do you think was Dana White or just the brass telling them like you're going to praise him nonstop?
I don't think they have to. I think the commentary is included in there, so it's sort of a boys club, and they all sort of they're all huffing the same fart clouds.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel like it doesn't need to be said. They all sort of think the same way.
I gotta say that I am glad that they did mention. I don't remember if it was DC or Anik, but they did mention a few times throughout the fight that Stipe, his speed definitely does not look. It didn't look like how it did in the past. Much slower. His reflexes weren't quite there. I'm glad they at least mentioned that because, like we've said it already here. Stipe did his best as he could. He obviously came in, super prepared. He even tagged John a few times.
He did
up top. But yeah, just the speed was not there. I'm glad they at least mentioned that they weren't completely, riding John. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like most of us expected this fight. I honestly thought in the first round after that crazy trip that John landed, and those elbows started coming down, I thought, oh, this is wraps. Stipe is about to get put out by one of these elbows, but he survived. I'm glad Stipe at least didn't get brutally KO'd again. At least brain damage type shit. But yeah, it was a good performance by John. This is like one of those things, man. We want to see the Aspinall fight because John could still win that fight. Like it's not like it's a foregone conclusion. I would favor Aspinall, but like John obviously has like more experience, probably better IQ when it
More
comes to
versatile.
fighting. Yeah, his arsenal is way more vast than Aspinall's. But Aspinall, you know, has the youth, the athleticism, the speed, obviously. Like, bro, I guarantee you, Aspinall's not getting hit by some of that shit that John was throwing his way. Like, Aspinall's quicker. I don't know. I'm not gonna say he's like 2 times quicker than Stipe or anything like that, but like, he is significantly quicker.
You're
than
not
Stipe.
gonna get a fucking spinning kick to the ribs.
Well, I think John could land that, but the thing he absolutely can't do against Aspinall is turn his back and run. Because Aspinall will run him down and hit him on the side of the head.
Yeah, he's gonna hit by a hook if he does that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I've sort of lost hope in that fight, especially after what John said afterward. But yeah, I mean, I'll give John his flowers for this. He did look
Classic.
really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, classic like Goat John performance. He showed why he's, you know, a lot of people consider him the GOAT. A very, very good performance by John. Just wish Stipe was younger.
Yeah, if that second Ngannou fight hadn't happened, and like let's say at that point he had fought Jones, could have been a different fight for sure.
Yeah, Stipe 4 years ago, I don't know how this fight goes down. Because I mean, Stipe, even like with the slower speed, he was getting really close. You know, with his combos.
Wasn't Aspinall was there? I remember seeing him, like they put the camera on him, of course. And oh yeah, there was this Chuck Liddell just absolutely clinging for dear life. Did way too much blow, and he was having a hard time. But Aspinall was there. He was like the potential substitute or something.
Oh yeah, the backup fighter.
Yeah, if just in case somebody got hurt walking to the cage or whatever. What did John say? He said something in the post-fight interview, and then later at the press conference, like they contradicted, right? Didn't he say he was open to either doing the Aspinall thing or doing AP? Either one is fine. If the
He
money's
mentioned
right,
like,
of course.
Yeah, he mentioned giving the fans what they want.
Yeah.
In the post-fight interview, like the one in the ring, but then in the back, with the press conference with the media, he said he's only interested in like fighting established champion. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like he wants it.
No. Established champion means Pajera. That's it.
Yeah.
Fucking clown show, man. And of course, Dana White be all right there with a fucking fluffy red nose on.
I will say at least Dana was like, I'm not making the AP fight.
Yeah, we want Aspinall.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's going to be. He's the interim champion. You have to fucking rectify that. Like I said, disputed heavyweight champion John Jones. Fantastic performance. Less than stellar opposition, but still solid. So, yeah.
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 I mean, I don't know what to even think anymore about the whole situation. I've sort of lost hope. It is really like interesting, like the parallels you can draw between this and Canelo Benavidez.
Yeah, actually, I'm interested in established champion legacy fights. Legacy building fights. Bring up Berlanga, because that's who it's got to be. What the fuck are you? What are we doing? Why are you still doing this if you're not doing it for the challenge? I guess.
Yeah. I don't know, but I've sort of lost hope with it. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm going to treat this like I did Mayweather versus Pacquiao, and I'll believe it when they're in the fucking octagon together, and not a second before. Oh shit! Anything more for UFC 309?
All right, card, all things considered. Some less than stellar fights, but some good ones as well.
Stellar fights. We'll be talking about that next time. Fucking UFC Macau. Holy shit. Okay. As we wrap this bitch up, it's a pretty bleak weekend. All right. You got in the morning. It starts at 4:30 on the west. One Friday Fights 89. Like they only have 2 fights listed so far, and those cards usually have like 12 to 15 fights. So I don't know. Make of that what you will. The Middle East North Africa PFL tournament is coming to a conclusion. Starts at 6:30 on the West. This is on ESPN Plus. The One Friday Fights, you can catch that on the ONE FC website for free. I don't really want to name these people. Sorry, fellas. I kept track of this because I thought it was kind of interesting. But the featherweight finals is Jordan versus Saudi Arabia. Welterweight is Kuwait versus Egypt. Bantamweight is Iraq versus Morocco. The lightweight is Iran versus Lebanon. So that's fun. That's happening in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, at the King Saud University Stadium. Cool. PFL, the world bracket, or like the top tournament, that the finals are happening as well. Starts at noon on the West. Some decent fights here. Let's see here. The main, I think, is going to be the heavyweights. Denis Goltsov versus Oleg Popov. That's the name of a really shitty vodka, if I remember it correctly. But I've seen plenty of their fights. Like, this is just, like, not very good. It's not going to be very good. Brent Primus versus Gazi Rabadanov. Lightweights. Cool. Brent Primus got thrown into PFL like right away, rather than the other Bellator dudes that are doing whatever the fuck. Magomed Umalatov versus Shamil Musayev, welterweights. Impa Kasanganay versus Dovlet Yagshimuradov, light heavyweights. This one is fantastic. Dakota Ditcheva versus Taila Santos, women's flyweights. But man, Dakota is a fucking beast, and Taila's not a slouch.
Yeah, that should be a good fight. Dakota's been on a tear recently.
Fucking
I don't know how that's gonna go. Yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go for Talia. I'm not gonna lie.
Brendan Loughnane versus Timur Kisriev, featherweights. That's the PFL finals for the year. I expect the winner of Denis Goltsov versus Oleg Popov probably gonna get lined up for Ngannou. Rest in peace to whoever that is. It's been nice knowing you. But that's all we got as we go into this bleak weekend. Thanks for listening to this episode of The Ultimate Effing Casual, a Lux Media production. If you'd like to give your thoughts, or you just need to let us know how terrible you think our takes are, you can be a lame and text our anonymous line, 833-589-7637. If you want to stand on business, call and leave a voice message, and we'll see if you're interesting enough to make the final cut of the show. 833-LUX-PODS. Can't go wrong. If you prefer to hit us up on social media, the account name is LVX Media Net, all one word. That's YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, all the rest of that bullshit. If you can't find us, chances are we're not on it. A lot of stuff gets cut out from final releases for all kinds of reasons. So if you want the raw audio, exactly as it's recorded, look us up on Patreon. LVX Media Net over there, just like everywhere else. Even if you don't sign up on Patreon, you can still help us out a lot if you hit us with a rating on whatever app you're listening on. If you're not feeling a $5, you have our number, or you can hit the DMs. Let us know how we can earn that full $5. The metal intros by Anders Janhunen. The jazzy intros by the artist Afternoon. Outro by Middle of Nowhere Beats. And for more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lvxmedia.net. All right, the shit goes there. So, parting words.
We just need to hold on tight. This is, we've gone through worse weeks. We need to hold on tight. We'll get some better stuff coming in within the coming weeks, at least.
I'm trying to think of something, but I'm just thinking about like duck mallard noises. If you could just insert that as my review.
Duck mallard noises? Are you?
Yeah,
is it season?
John is ducking.
Ah, gotcha.
Aspinall.
I know you're an outdoorsman, so I thought that's what it was.
Well, I think duck season is open now.
Fishing season?
It is open.
Duck season.
Oh, it's always fishing season.
Always fishing season, yeah.
Well, it's not great, but if you are a fucking filthy degenerate like me, I'm certain there will be some fun fights on Friday Fights. And the Middle East, North Africa ones, this is like their first year doing it. So I don't know if you want to maybe catch those. Should be some fun there. And the main bracket finals, like if nothing else, there's like 2 or 3 fights on here that have solid potential, if nothing else. So I don't know. Yeah. Or, go outside and like be social and shit. And that's probably a lot better for your health. All right. Well, that's it for this edition of the Ultimate Fucking Casuals. See you next time.
Yep. See ya.
Later.